Hey Cougs! So a lot of you probably know about my WSU products on Cookie.com, like the cookie cutter or the decals or Coug cakes. But what I'm sure a lot of you don't know is that I actually make them all myself here in the shop. And I kind of wanted to show how that happens because it is kind of a confusing process, and I love to give back and share. Plus, with the supply shortage right now, having companies like myself who make entirely in the US is really important. So the more I can share how that's done, the better off I think we'll be. So today to start off, I'm going to show you how I make my WSU leather key tags. If I can get to focus. There we go. Yeah. So these are made all in-house, and I make them using my laser cutter. So to start off, I take locally sourced leather. I take this from a shop in Portland who uses them to make various leather products. I take their scraps, and then because they're scrap, they're not exactly a perfect shape, so I have to start and lay out all these key tags to fit best in that place. So I'll start by lining it with a already cut key tag. Once I've got it cut, I close up the door, protect my eyes, and I hit go. So it starts by engraving like this, and once it's gone through and it's engraved, it'll go and cut out the outline just like this. Now, laser cutting works perfectly for these and makes really high quality leather tags. The only problem is that it does leave a little bit of a charred edge on it. It can leave some residue and it comes off on your fingers, so it's not quite great, but I do have a process for removing that. So what I actually do is I put it in a water bottle with a little bit of abrasive and some water and soap, and I tumble it. So I put it in a water bottle, and I put it on my lathe, and I let it tumble for a little while. Not exactly the best tool for the process, but it does actually work really well. If you don't have anything like this, don't worry. You can just put it in the water bottle and shake it by hand, but I'm lazy, so if I got a tool that can do something like that for me, absolutely automate that process and let it do it for you. So go ahead and get that started and start tumbling. And I leave it here for about a half hour to really get all of that char residue off. Let it run nice and slow, just like this. Now, once it's done, I go ahead and pull it off the lathe here, and as you can see, the water's turned a little bit darker, and those edges have lightened up quite a bit, so it's really doing its job. So now I take these over and I put them on a hot plate, and I let them dry out. For some reason, I didn't get a video of this, but I just have a photo to show you, but just imagine these drying out. So once I've got them mostly dried out, I don't want to over dry them because they can get kind of crunchy and it gets rid of the conditioning in the leather. Then I go over and I press in the eyelets for each leather tag. I've got a little hand press here that I've actually modified to use a air cylinder instead of using it by hand. I've got a little foot pedal under the desk that controls the lever. Works great, makes it work a lot faster and a lot easier, especially because I use this method to package all of my products now, because I'm starting to move towards more recyclable and renewable packaging. So once I've got that grommet pressed in, I go over to making the packaging. Packaging is cut out the same method. I put in the laser cutter and print and cut that. If you guys are interested in how I do that, leave a comment below, and maybe I'll do another video on how I make my own packaging. But I've got this little press, leaves a nice crisp edge on there. I'm a little bit finicky with packaging, so I try to make it as best as possible for my customers. I want something that feels quality and that looks great and protects the product. And once I've got those all pressed and crisp looking, I grab one of the key tags, fold this little tag through, and rivet it down in place. This completes the packaging. Super strong, hangs on the wall perfectly, and looks great. So yeah, that's how I make all of my WSU key tags. If you have any questions, drop them below. I'd be happy to answer them. And if you want to pick up any of these cool products, check out my website, cougkey.com. That's Coug, K-I-E.com. I've got a lot of new products on there and a lot of really cool stuff that I'm sure you'll love, and I'm sure that a lot of your Coug family will love as well. So, as always, go Cougs, stay awesome.